Hello.
Hello, this is Douglas
Hey.
Monroe. Can I speak to my wife?
Good morning. This is LaShawn Monroe. How
Hello.
may I help you?
I have a problem.
I am in the business of fixing problems.
Okay, fix dinner.
Not tonight.
You walk right into that one.
Not tonight. Not tonight. Okay. All right. Talk to me. What's up?
Nothing. On my way to my next one.
Okay, where you at?
I'm in,
How many you got today, baby?
I'm in,
Now that turns me on. How many you got
Jonesboro.
going
Ain't much going on.
You sound sexy. Hold on. You should take a picture.
Maybe
Let
I
me see
should.
you open up the washing machine door and let me see you sit in there.
I did.
Take it out. And then
He got to get a new washing machine, so that was the end of that.
a word.
Yeah.
Not fixable, huh? Hold on. Miss King, you come. Hold on, babe. Just a second, I'm gonna clear it back.
Okay, sure.
Scott crushed this gaslighting panel without breaking a sweat. It was a masterclass in takedown.
You would advise a person or a client of yours to literally engage in the middle of an active law enforcement matter?
If they see something wrong, I would say yes. I would say definitely
That's a crime.
I would say put your.
It is a crime to interfere with law enforcement. You're advising people to commit crimes?
What I'm advising.
Do you
people,
consider filming with like hold on a second.
Just to be extremely clear, because I know how these things get clipped and shipped around. What I'm actually telling you, Scott, is if my client came to me and said, Bakari, I was outside and I saw something going down and I saw somebody being abused and I went and tried to put myself in between them, or I raised the camera, do not hit officers. Do not spit on officers. But yes, by all means, if you see something wrong, videotape it. I mean, I can't sit here. My dad was a member of SNCC, right? He was a professional disruptor.
Holding a camera is different than inserting yourself or inserting your vehicle in the middle of a law enforcement.
I mean, I think, but Scott.
Scott crushed this gaslighting panel without
Welcome to yesterday's news channel, where we watch CNN so you don't have to. Today we're on CNN News Night, where Batya Ungar-Sargon is once again surrounded by a panel determined to panic over Donald Trump. Batya Ungar-Sargon explains what's actually happening, while the rest of the panel spirals into hypotheticals, fear framing, and accusations that don't survive basic scrutiny. Anyway, let's watch how Batya Ungar-Sargon brings this conversation back to reality. Let's go.
Yes, when have we ever seen him not float his idea, get everyone all agitated, continue to float the idea, and then eventually follow through on it? So he could try it. He can't accomplish it legally. The only way he could try to do it is by executive order, but it would be an unconstitutional executive order.
Batya, I mean, a lot of people try to take what Trump says and they put it through the washing machine, launder it, and it comes out as something else. But Trump keeps repeatedly insisting that he wants the federal government to run elections in states that he lost because he thinks that if he lost, it wasn't fair. Is this productive? And at what point should Republicans say something about these lies?
I don't think it's productive, especially because it's impossible. Thank God, not constitutional, and so not going to happen. I do think that the SAVE Act is a great idea. 83% of Americans support it, as I learned on CNN this morning, and that includes, 76% of Black Americans, 82% of Latinos, 85% of white Americans. So to me, that's the move. Push the SAVE Act and force Democrats to admit that they are against what 83% of Americans want. I think this is all kind of just a distraction, a bit of nonsense.
Yes, there have been Democrats, Republicans, independents who've questioned elections for centuries. But the President of the United States, the person who holds the highest office, has always had that responsibility to keep the country together, to keep the country to have the faith in their electoral system. This guy doesn't care. He didn't even show up to the inauguration of his successor. Nobody wants to go and relitigate the 2020 election except for a small group of Trump fans. Everybody else has moved on.
I think if there's a criminal complaint and a judge issues a warrant, our federal law enforcement resources and agencies do have an obligation to go investigate those. And I would say that, Keith, that I agree with you. I wish that every politician that loses an election would move on. But we saw Hillary Clinton do the same thing with they stole the election. We saw Chuck Schumer push a stolen election. Every politician who's ever lost an election has said someone stole the election. There were irregularities, and we have an obligation. We have an obligation to the American people to investigate those irregularities.
Since I failed to mention him in the intro, I think we've got to shout out Tim Parrish. I think he did a real good job at the end there. Yeah, same strategy, different day. They take a hypothetical, strip away legal context, repeat it until it sounds plausible, and then act surprised when viewers walk away confused. What they're suggesting Trump wants to do isn't constitutional. To the best of my knowledge, it can't happen. There's no executive order loophole. There's no hidden mechanism that suddenly makes it possible. So if that's true, it undercuts the entire premise of their argument. Now, of course, instead of explaining that reality to their audience, CNN frames the discussion like some impending authoritarian takeover. They're not analyzing anything. They're just agitating. They're just like the so-called ICE protesters. They want to get folks worked up. It's the same pattern you see every single episode. Outrage is prioritized over clarity, escalate the fear, skip the context. Batya doesn't even humor their panic. She pivots the conversation back to concrete issues, voter confidence, voter ID, citizen verification, policies that large majorities of Americans consistently support. That's a curveball for this panel because it's substantive. They're not used to that. Back to it.
I have an honest question, Batya. I mean, isn't it legitimate for people to be suspicious or skeptical of what the Trump administration is doing around elections when Trump seems so enamored with things that are demonstratively false about his loss in 2020 and has already said multiple times that he is obsessed with relitigating that particular issue? Shouldn't people actually be worried that Trump is trying to undo a legitimate, free and fair election to rig it in his favor, because that's what he would have done in 2020 if he had been given a chance?
You mean a past election or a future election?
I'm saying that he is convinced that any election that isn't in his favor is not fair. And that's based on complete imaginary things in his own head. So if he's meddling with elections now, shouldn't people be worried about that?
Well, you can't really meddle in a past election.
I'm talking about future elections.
I mean,
and also, by the way, he's trying to meddle in past elections.
Exactly.
That's why we're going back to Fulton County.
But I mean,
he's definitely trying to meddle in past elections.
But it's sort of like, you can't, okay, anyway.
I mean, he is meddling, he is both meddling in past elections and he's talking about future elections.
If a judge has heard information that caused them to issue a warrant, I would like to know what that information was to see if I consider it to be compelling or not. But I mean, the idea that
the president's motivations for what he is doing. His motivation is that I lost, so therefore it is invalid. And that's not true. So then he's going and he's meddling in past election results and future election results.
But if that's not true,
wouldn't a reasonable person look at that and say, that doesn't make any sense? Why is he doing that? Is he trying to make it so that in the future, if he ever loses, it looks like he wins?
Well, first of all, if he won, which I believe he won, then what is...
he won the 2020 election?
Sorry, no, I think he lost.
Okay.
If he lost the election, what is the problem with looking at the evidence? All the evidence will suggest that, right? All of the evidence will be there to back up that claim.
We've
already litigated. And second of all, as Tim pointed out earlier, there are millions and millions of Americans who feel that our elections are not safe. Now, if I was in charge, this is not the way I would go about reassuring them that our elections are free and fair. I would focus on the SAVE Act. I would focus on citizenship. I would focus on photo ID, which is something that the vast majority of Americans support. So this is not the avenue I would choose, but he is representing millions and millions of Americans who have a lot of doubts about how things went down. Now, I think the problem is that exactly what Keith said. Americans are over this. They are looking forward, not backwards. But by the same token that the president is talking about something no one cares about, so are we. You know, like, why are we talking about this?
Because he's talking about it.
So what? We don't have to talk about everything he talks
But
about.
not only is he talking about it, he's acting on it.
He
It's
got
not
a
just
warrant from a judge.
Hold on, it's not about you. It's not just words. He is acting on it. He's acting on it. He has now appointed Tulsi Gabbard to do what exactly? I mean, they haven't even said what the scope of her job is. All we know is that Trump falsely claims that elections that were not rigged were rigged. So if he now has put someone in charge of unrigging elections that were never rigged in the first place, what is he doing?
They're not rigged. What is the problem with people doing investigations? Like, why is it
already investigated
a better use for our government? I literally just said I do, yes, but I'm saying, like, there's nothing like illegitimate about it. They had legitimate evidence. They brought it to a judge. The judge signed off on it.
So Keith Boykin says no one wants to relitigate 2020. Really? Okay, I mean, even if I accept that, once again, that's not how the law works. If evidence is presented to a judge and a warrant is issued, federal authorities don't get to ignore it just because commentators are uncomfortable. That's the key point Batya keeps making. Investigations aren't illegitimate just because you don't like the subject. They don't suddenly become meddling because CNN declares the topic closed. The irony here is pretty incredible. The same people who spent years insisting elections were stolen now argue that no one's allowed to ask questions. Ever again. Batya isn't defending Trump's rhetoric, she's defending something much simpler, that facts and process still matter. If a judge thought
that we created and that have created so much stability and prosperity around the world.
The problem is that all of these people need us more than we need them, and they have taken advantage of us while we have been the ones subsidizing them. And what the president is saying, and what the entire Trump administration went to Davos to say, is that this world order in which you globalize everything, you ship good jobs overseas to China, you import millions of people to undercut workers here, is over. We're done being your patsies. We're done being in a situation where NATO needs us more than we need them, and yet somehow they are dictating the terms of the relationship. That is over.
Let's be real. I mean, you're doing a very good job of repeating President Trump's rhetoric, but let's be realistic. For 80 years, we have built and led this international security system.
And we have
been the biggest. We have been the biggest.
This MAGA guest ended their argument and shut down the woke panel.
We're going to relitigate what was already looked at by 60 different federal courts, more than 60. They did not find evidence of this fraud. Now, Donald Trump has decided years later that it exists.
In Minnesota, there was an indictment from a Nevada couple that was harvesting ballots in Minnesota. To say that voter fraud does not exist is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. To this point, there was a judicial finding of probable cause in order to make this search. That's what makes it entirely different than Watergate. That was the president breaking into Watergate. Let me finish. That was the president breaking into Watergate without any judicial determination. Joe's 100% right. There was a neutral magistrate finding that. If you don't have a problem with, if you do not think that voter fraud doesn't exist, then why not just make this available? Take a look at it. Prove everybody wrong. Have it be done.
6 years later.
This MAGA guest ended their argument and shut down the woke panel.
We're going to relitigate.
All right, you guys, I've got some news. Emmanuel Macron is gay. Why are you gay, Emmanuel Macron? When I said it, it was a conspiracy. Now these Epstein emails are getting released and people are looking up, and by people I mean the mainstream media. They're willing to accept that maybe I was telling the truth. He's also married to a dude because he's gay, so that makes sense. But I guess we'll wait for the next email dump before the reliably dishonest press is prepared to admit that part too. What is up with these political unions? I have questions. This brings me to Erica Kirk. Upon further information, I no longer believe that she was with her mother on the morning of September 10th, and I am going to tell you guys why that is. Welcome back to Candace. There are so many directions that we could run into with the Epstein emails, but there's something that popped up that is very interesting to me. The 23andMe emails, the elites sending one another kits. Jeffrey Epstein, I'll show you two of them. First and foremost to Woody Allen. Woody Allen, that entire background story that Hollywood just accepts him is absolutely crazy to me. I'm glad that that is being relitigated regarding what he did to his own child when she was 7. but allegedly, I'll say allegedly. But look at this email that Jeffrey Epstein authored to Woody. It says the 23andMe kits arrived and will be delivered to Woody and Soon-Yi to their home today. So I don't know who this actually went to, but he was getting this kit out to Woody Allen. And there's another email, this time to, who is this? They're always blocking out the names, but it says, hi Sultan, can you please tell me who James Miller is? He is who you have billed the 30 kits to. Also, do I understand the shipping address is Jeffrey's home at 9 East 71st Street? We're talking about 23andMe kits. Do you guys remember that trend, by the way? For some reason, they came out and they told everybody, this is going to be amazing. Don't you want to know where you're from? As if they don't know where we're from. They're the ones that are trafficking people all over the world. We can help you. Just send us your DNA. And a lot of people did it. A lot of my friends did it. I was already like, seems a little suspect. It's a bit suspicious. I'm not going to do it at all. Well, interestingly enough, that particular project, 23andMe, or that particular business, also began shortly following our invasion into Iraq. I'll tell you why this matters, okay? So we invaded, as I mentioned yesterday, mid-2003, and we extracted Gilgamesh's tomb, roughly 2 years later. Well, in 2005, the now bankrupt company, 23andMe, came together where people began sending in those DNA kits to figure out their ancestry. I want you to park that in your mind as we revisit our military's strange efforts in the Middle East. I mentioned to you guys this man named Rob Skiba yesterday. He wrote a book entitled Babylon Rising. This came to me from an email tip. It was immediately interesting. Well, this man, it is alleged, was actually murdered for some of the research and the pieces that he were putting together because he was perhaps getting too close to the ultimate project of the elites. By the way, his son emailed me yesterday thanking me for bringing up his father and grateful that his father's work is still carrying on. I've not had time to email him back, but I did receive that email and I know that you are watching, and I'm also grateful that the work that your father did is getting new meaning. Anyway, I started watching this speech that his father, Rob Skiba, gave on the topic of his book, Babylon Rising. I explained to you that all of the elites are obsessed with Babylon, and any research that I do, it's all about Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. And I want to share to you some of these clips. It's Rob Skiba, and he's speaking about his book. Now, to tee this up, let's just get into a little bit of the history. He is positing a lot about the Tower of Babel. Obviously, we know this was built up, that this angered God. And Rob Skiba posits that it wasn't actually the height of the tower that was problematic. He believes that, or this is a theory, so don't be offended. Please don't send me emails about, whoa, this is not the teaching, this is not the doctrine. We're trying to not get to what is true or what you believe. We are trying to actually get to what the elites believe. Okay, we actually don't believe we should harm children. So if we're speaking about the elite's belief, you don't have to send me a lecture about what's wrong about it. The entire purpose of this podcast is to tell you that the elites are satanic. Anyway, back to Nimrod building this Tower of Babel. Well, Rob Skiba posits, he's like, I don't think it was because the tower was high. We know that he built this to get back to heaven. He thinks that actually this tower that was being built was a technology because they wanted to get back into the heavenly realm. Now, if you have read Gilgamesh, there was a lot of astrotheology that's in it, stargates. We know that the elites worship stars. We've covered that extensively. Well, in this particular clip, you're going to see Rob Skiba discuss the Book of Enoch, the one that I mentioned to you, going back to the beginning, the story of fallen angels. And he brings up something that is of geographical interest. Take a listen.
There are extra biblical texts, like the Book of Enoch and others, that go into more detail about what happened in Genesis 6. The Book of Enoch says that 200 fallen angels, a class of angels known as the Watchers, landed in this location right here. This is the center of a mountain range in southern Lebanon known as Mount Hermon. Now keep your eye right there as the camera pulls back and just kind of look at the outline of the topography right there. It's very interesting that it actually forms the shape of a goat. And one of the worst of the fallen angels was one by the name of Azazel. And Azazel is always associated with the goat. You see that in Leviticus chapter 16. The scapegoat is in reference to Azazel. I find it interesting that the land itself actually kind of looks like a goat head. This gentleman depicted here is David Flynn. He recently passed away, but he turned the world upside down with some of his research, and he was able to figure out that location is 33.33 degrees north by 33.33 degrees east from the Paris prime meridian. Very interesting. What's 1/3 of 100? 33.3333%, right? How interesting that the fallen angels that participated in what I call the Genesis 6 experiment landed on the geographical location that fits their number on the crosshairs of 33.33. Something else David Flynn pointed out is that if you put a little marker there, and you can do this for yourself, that what I showed you there was from Google Earth. I did it for myself to check it out. But you can put a marker there and then draw a line from there to the Paris prime meridian. We go by Greenwich today, but originally it was the Paris was kind of the standard for a long time there. And that is, in the occult, is referred to as the devil's line.
So something that is a fact is that the elites are obsessed with goat heads, Baal worship. None of this is a conspiracy. Jeffrey Epstein worked for the Rothschilds. You were looking at a picture of the Rothschilds at their surrealist ball. The more research you do, you just sort of see this appearance over and over again of goat heads. Even if you get into Pan worship, Dionysus, all of these, occult, orgiastic cults that they've had since the beginning of time, so to speak. And just to give you guys a biblical recap, I should never assume, I know a lot of people are kind of now just going to church or just starting to pick up a Bible, so I can back this up for you. The story of man, just so you guys know, you're not an ape. You can throw away that chart. The biblical recap here: Satan is struck down by the archangel Saint Michael after a battle of good versus evil in heaven, because Satan is leading this rebellion against God. The rebellion fails. He is obviously expelled, and as a result, he no longer has access to God. This is our true history, our true heritage. This is what actually happened. Like I said, you're not a monkey. That middle school charts of, here's what happened, and then you were like, the Australopithecus, and then it was a Homo sapien. That's just nonsense, quote unquote, science. Now, these fallen angels, so to speak, also known as demons, then mate with humans. They produce Nephilim, giants, and their demonic pursuit never actually ends. They are still seeking to triumph God. So that enters in the story of Nimrod and him building this Tower of Babel as a return to heaven. So like I said, the biblical story is that as Nimrod is constructing this tower, God confuses language amongst the people, forcing them to abandon the project because they can't communicate with one another. So, can't speak, we can't build this tower. So Ron Skiba's theory, if you're suspending, again, theological debate for a moment, I'm just telling you because we're looking into what he is saying the elites are after. His theory is that at the moment that occurred, once languages were confused, Nimrod became known as different names: Baal, Tammuz, Gilgamesh, and like I said, he is positing this. You can see this whole list: Dionysus, Bacchus. Yes, there is synergy between those cults and the practices, without question, historically speaking. Now, he's discussing this because he believes that the elites view Nimrod and or Gilgamesh as the Antichrist that they are working to try to resurrect for exactly that reason. And he reminds audiences that Gilgamesh, per the epic, was 2/3 God and 1/3 man. Take a listen. Super interesting.
Gilgamesh is said to be part God, part man. Jesus is God and man, right? Well, there's a similarity there. The Epic of Gilgamesh says that he was 1/3 man and 2/3 God. What's 1/3 of 100? 33.33%. What's 2/3? 66.6%. Interesting. And the 1/3 part of man, we are carbon-based organisms, right? The carbon molecule has 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons. So just by default, the number of man would be 666 by virtue of the carbon molecule. But this guy's got 6s all over him. Look up CERN. It's a very interesting facility. Look at this thing. The thing's huge. It's the Hadron Super Collider. Their stated objective is to recreate the Big Bang. Now, I don't believe in evolution myself, but I remember them teaching me evolution in school, and they said we got here from a Big Bang, right? So if we got here according to the way you think, and you want to, by a Big Bang, and you want to recreate the Big Bang, that can't be a good thing. They're trying to find the God particle. You know, what in the world are these guys doing? Look at their logo. It looks like 3 6s on top of each other. And everybody wants to talk about the separation of science and religion, right? They're usually, it seems like they're like this, right? You know, they're diametrically opposed. Well, it's interesting that all these scientists and people working over there on CERN decide to put the religious statue of the Hindu god Shiva outside the front door. Shiva is the god of destruction. They put the god of destruction, a huge statue dancing, looks like it's coming through a portal.
Like I said, you guys, please don't email me about whether or not you agree with him presenting this. Last time when I mentioned the Shiva Dionysus thing, people were like, no, Shiva is not Dionysus. There's so many books on that say that that's what it is, and they are written by people that are Hindu. You guys can disagree amongst yourselves. I am just fascinated trying to get to the bottom of what it is that the elites believe, and it is just a fact that they do have that Shiva structure at CERN. CERN is obviously evil. I showed you guys the video of what they were doing, this ritual. These are quote-unquote scientists that are dressed up in robes stabbing someone, and they never gave an answer for this. Somebody caught them, recorded this, and they're like, oh, that was a joke, no further questions, no further answers, shut this down. Something much deeper is going on here, something much more demonic. And the reason why I find this to be fascinating is because it's everything that I have learned studying Sigmund Freud. It's all coming together. I told you Sigmund Freud was Satanist. He created a social science. Talking about that blending of science and religion, you think it's different. It's not. Sigmund Freud is explicit that they create this science to mask their religion. Their religion consists of ritualistic sacrifice, harming innocent children. But if you say, I'm a doctor, I'm an expert, then suddenly, okay, people go, oh, okay, it's not that. This is not some demonic faith. Essentially, what Sigmund Freud is famous for is developing a breakthrough strategy for the elites. When they want to accomplish something from a religious perspective, all they have to do is present it to the public as a scientific breakthrough. Go back to COVID, right? Oh, the stay at home, save lives. What were they actually doing? We don't know what they were doing. We know what they weren't doing. They weren't creating a vaccine that guarded you against COVID. Roll up your sleeves, let us inject you. What were they actually injecting into people's arms? We're the experts. Dr. Fauci, we're experts. It's all it takes, and people will suddenly begin to listen to these people and follow them as though they were religious leaders. So this brings me back to a 23andMe. If you follow that train of thought that they are actually doing things from a religious angle, a demonic angle, but they're presenting it as a science, what was this mass campaign to effectively collect everybody on Earth's DNA by saying, oh, look, we're going to help you with your ancestry? Well, take a listen to what Ron Skiba says.
2003, the body of Gilgamesh was found in the desert of Iraq. And I heard a recent interview with Tom Horn and Steve Quayle talking on a Mega Man radio. I'm just going to play a snippet of their radio show. This is what they had to say about this find.
Imagine the startling proposition that the Nephilim, the giants, the mighty men of old, the gods and children of the Watchers, could somehow rise up, could somehow be reconstituted inside of a body. And of course, I've discussed with you before my theory that one of the greatest legends in history could be a record of that having actually happened. And I'm referring to Nimrod, who some scholars also identify as Gilgamesh of Sumerian fame, Apollo of Greek fame, Osiris of Egyptian fame. And this Gilgamesh was a giant who a lot of people didn't even believe was anything more than myth until his grave marker was found a few years back. And then, according to some people, the military swooped in and took possession and control of that dig.
Hey, Tom, I want to interject something. I talked to a special operations general who validated that, and his words were he was in a state of remarkable preservation, okay? He said they have Gilgamesh's remains. So if they have Gilgamesh and he is Nimrod, they got it. And the whole point was to extract the DNA. And I've also been told that the whole point, and this is germane to what we're talking about, of the Human Genome Project is to locate specific genetic markers for the disembodied spirits to reanimate their host body that's brought back.
Interesting that the U.S. military started its military occupation phase of Iraq 1 month later. We all know we went into Iraq under false pretenses, right? They told us weapons of mass destruction, right? They said that we didn't find weapons of mass destruction, but I have a feeling we found the weapon of mass destruction, and we set up shop there immediately after that and established 500 military bases in the largest embassy of any other embassy on the entire planet in Babylon. Interesting.
How crazy that I watched this last night and this morning, and I had no idea he said that. And I said that yesterday, like maybe they were actually looking for the weapon of mass destruction. And this is almost the only thing that makes sense. We are constantly being lied to about what we are doing. What the heck are we doing talking about Greenland? What is going on right now? Why does it seem like the elites are running some race against time almost? What's going on in Ukraine, actually? I've heard that even that could be ancient in terms of what they are trying to get and what they are trying to find. We need to actually pay attention. The elites are focused on something that has nothing to do with what we are being sold. And I very much believe this because we see Peter Thiel, who is like dead focused on discussing the Antichrist all the time. Are we supposed to believe that he's a faithful Christian? But what is his interest in the Antichrist? Why are they obsessed with wanting to create life artificially, right? This push and the marketing toward IVF. Yes, of course, it can be a sensitive subject because people turn to IVF because they can't have children. We are starting to see that the people that are creating this, it's not because they are wanting to help you have a child. It's because they seek to be the creators. You know, one of the things that happens here, the template, is that as soon as you side with the devil, you can't create. You cannot create. You have to steal. You have to enslave. You have to steal because you do not have any creativity within you. And so I fully believe that we need to start having and examining all of the wars of past, what was going on in Afghanistan, like I said, what's going on in Ukraine today, and look through the...
Hey.
Hey.
I'm driving. I saw it come through. Is that the windshield?
Yeah, I'm just leaving the place. They said they can't repair it. I have to replace my whole windshield.
They want that
because well, nah, it's only $400 to replace the windshield, but that's what I can't do it under my insurance, and my deductible for my insurance is $1,000. That just be stupid. But nah, the way the crack is and how it starts at the corner, like he was like, if he put that stuff in there, it's not gonna take because the way the Camaro windshield is made, it won't stick because it's like it's no shield or nothing around a Camaro's thing or whatever. Wow. So if he put that gooey shit in there, it's gonna come right back out because there's no pressure like holding it down. I can see what he was talking about, but there's no way it can like catch the sticky shit or some shit. And it's like at the corner or whatever. So it's like it's no way to put stuff in there. The way the windshield is made or whatever.
God. So. Is it growing? Is the line growing?
Yeah, I grew a little bit. And he ain't making no better fucking touching the shit. I'm just like, you just keep touching the fucking shit. Like, you just trying to put pressure on that shit. Like, yeah, he just kept trying, like, see how the line is? You see, I saw it the first time, nigga, you don't have to keep touching it. Shit. Just making my shit grow. But nah, it's $400 to replace the whole windshield.
That includes labor?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Nah, it's not. But goddamn, ain't nothing like taking a hit that you want.
Well, just put some money away. Ain't like it's the end of the world. You can put some money away till you ready. You just have to do it.
But it's just gonna keep growing though.
But it ain't gonna. It's not like you're gonna be without a windshield. You're just gonna have a crack until you come up with the money. I say put some money away until you got enough. The crack gonna still be there, but at least you had the money for it without going out of budget. If you put money away, you're not gonna lose. Because it's gonna still be cracked till you fix it, right?
Yeah.
So just put some money to the side till you
I just hate to come out one day and that bitch is all the way across the whole goddamn.
It doesn't matter, as long as it's not completely broken and you got the wind blowing in your face. So I would say put some money aside till you save it up and get it fixed. Eventually it's gonna get fixed. It's just gonna be cracked. Don't go out your way. Don't go into debt and out of budget.
Fucking move your old ass off the way.
Don't go out of budget and into debt just for a windshield. When you can save the money up, it's still gonna be cracked till you come up with the money. It ain't gonna hurt you. It's not gonna stop you. But put the money aside. Put your $100 aside every week. And for this time, what? By the time your birthday comes, you have your money, right?
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I put $100 away till I got $400 and then go do it instead of going out of budget. Because it's gonna be cracked till you fix it.
Really, Dad? Really?
I'm looking at a crack right now and they ain't bothering me at fucking all. I got a star in my windshield and it's been there forever.
And you probably got some seal on it too, for it don't grow.
No, I ain't sealed it. If it would have grew, I would have, but it didn't grow. It's a star, but it ain't stopping my ass from doing nothing. Shit. I got all kind of dings and shit from rocks.
Nah, yeah, I mean, I got dings and all kinds of stuff. Like, I've been needing new paint job and shit from rocks and being low to the ground. I got like 2 dings on my door from fucking assholes at the grocery store. So.
Right.
But that's why I was like, I had to start parking away again. I'm like, man, motherfuckers will just hit your goddamn door. Had a lady hit her shit with hit my car with a buggy. They got a scratch in the back from that shit. So it was like, it might be a walk, but it's definitely worth walking from the back, walking to your car and not being hit by random people's car doors and stuff.
Right.
But, that's annoying. I woke up for this bullshit.
Yeah, if it ain't that bullshit, it's some more bullshit.
I just kept hitting snooze too. I was like, 5 more minutes. Just 5 more minutes. I'm tired.
You and the son the same way. 5 minutes. Nigga, need to go get up.
Right. By the second time, I was like, you ain't even gonna get no real sleep because you keep telling yourself, trying to time out the difference. Like, okay, if I take 5 more minutes to do this, like you just spent 5 minutes thinking in your head, recalculating how far back it's gonna put you. I'm like, man, I went in there, I'm looking tired as hell. And she was like, you staying with the car? I was like, yeah, fortunately. She was like, well, it shouldn't take that long for them to steal it. Man, as soon as I gave him my key and sat down and took a sip of my coffee, he was like, I ain't gonna be able to do it. I'm like, damn.
Damn, he knew right away.
Yeah, he was like, look at this. He was like, yeah, it ain't gonna go in there.
Look at this. Look at this.
Look at this. And I'm like, damn, I just said I could have stayed in a warm bed, but this shit's cold as hell. And being an adult sucks.
It's a motherfucker. And you only get to be an adult one time, so enjoy.
Whatever. That's some bullshit.
Damn, they ran right in the back of that motherfucker. Ooh, that's the end of your car. Damn, these people crazy out here. They ran right in the back of their ass. He had to be on Instagram.
Yep. And then my baby daddy tripping.
What happened now?
No, I mean, I know he kind of got a point, but I just don't want to agree with him. He don't think Anthony ready for a car. He don't think Anthony's responsible enough right now. And it's just like, I really want to get him a car, but he don't feel like Anthony is responsible yet.
Did Anthony do anything to make him feel that way?
Yeah, we're going to wash his ass and clean his room. So it's like,
that ain't got nothing to do with the car.
If he can't, Chris is like, if he won't even wash his ass or clean his room without me fucking saying something, you think he's gonna keep up with keeping the car clean and the maintenance on the car and gas and all that shit?
Well,
yeah, because it's up to the parent.
Now, right?
It's up to the fucking. And next month he'll be 18. But it's up to the parents to teach all that shit.
I understand, but
it's like I see Chris texts him, every morning you up, and then he texts him, did you take a shower? And Anthony's response was, I don't think so. The fuck you mean you don't think so?
Yeah.
How you gonna sit there and say you don't think so? It's a yes or no. Did you wash your ass or not? And he was like, man, your son be sitting, he be going days without taking no fucking bath and shit, and then just in the room. I was like, I get it, but it's up to you. I mean, boys are nasty. There's I know plenty of boys gonna tell me they used to be like, they didn't take no goddamn shower, they didn't take showers.
He need a job.
Anthony used to sit in the bathroom on the toilet on his goddamn phone, letting my goddamn water run for 45 minutes. And I'm like, I know you fucking lying.
And that's the problem.
I bust in there, he just sitting there. So I'm like, I mean, time I'm busting there, I'm like, I know you fucking lying. Running my goddamn water up. So it's all kids do that shit. But it's just like,
it's the phone. I mean, it's a lifestyle now. It took over.
I watched this teacher's YouTube, and she said her damn kindergartners, they didn't even know how to open a book. They was she gave them books and they was swiping that motherfucker. She wanted to cry. She said these kids are born with tablets and phones in their hand. She said they don't even know how to open a book. They was swiping the front of the book like it was
looking for a button, right?
Yeah, she was. Right. What she think too, because I. I'm just like, at the end, he got to learn by trial and error.
Right.
So,
and there's nothing y'all can do about it.
Right, and it's like our hands are tied. Like,
but y'all kind of are at the blame because he didn't buy the cell phone. Y'all did.
No. I get it. I mean, my child had a very charmed life. I get it. And yeah, when you breastfeed them their whole life and then you decide to take the titty out, it's kind of like,
yeah, this is what happens.
But that's why I sent him with his dad to get a fucking turn into a man. But Chris, I ain't gonna say ain't no man. Chris is, I don't know what kind of man Chris is.
He was under his mama's thumb, right?
He's not an on hand.
He's not an alpha male.
And it's like, my homegirl explained it so well because I told her what happened, and she was like, the difference is because your daddy made you do, like, you had to do that shit, like, and just like she was explaining with Genesis, she was like, you and Genesis, y'all was out there, like, y'all had to get it, and it was like, you wasn't about to, your dad didn't hold your hand, told you what the fuck to do, like how you had to put that dryer back together.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
Exactly right. That's what he's got to do. And now he done got to be 18 years old. He's setting his ways.
Like and then Chris in there talking all this shit, and then it's like, one minute it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make him get a job. He's gonna do this when he get down there. You got all of this shit you said you was gonna make him do. He get down there, you still let him do the same bullshit I let him get away with. You let him come home, get on the game, go to sleep. He like, oh, and then argument. He like, oh, and I don't even fucking bother you. I'll let you do your own thing. I'll sit here and let you go home and play on your game. All I ask you to do is to wash dishes, wash your ass, and keep your room clean. That's not what he's supposed to be doing. He's not 10 years old. He's about to be a man in his home. And it's like, and then you're like telling me when I gave you him, oh, I'm gonna make him work. I'm gonna make him do this. You don't make him do none of this shit. You just want him out your hair like the rest of your kids. And it's like, you're not setting him up for success. The only thing I just said is you probably gonna set him up for. He probably gonna go into the military just like you, and he probably need that sternness. He probably need that. But
he didn't put him in ROTC, or they don't have one.
They don't have that.
Oh.
So, but I mean, Anthony has a whole nother year of school to go. Like just because he turned 18, he still got a whole nother year. He's just a junior right now. So, but it's like you're not hands-on with him. You don't get hands-on until he pitches the ball. Like the whole thing, Anthony's supposed to be every move you make, he's supposed to be making that same move. And then it's like, oh, he said something about being a Mason. I don't really know how I feel about that, but you don't have him go do Mason shit. He don't be out and about with you for Mason shit anyway. So it's like, I like that he's doing his little marching band thing. I get it. Anthony's a straight A student. He's on the road classes. You know, he's doing his little marching band thing, but he's not ready for reality. He's not ready for the real world. It's like, I'm sitting here trying to explain to Anthony the whole thing.
The common sense is lacking.
Yeah, it's like, I was like, Anthony, the whole point of a parent is we want to make sure we want to know that you're going to be straight when we leave this earth.
Yep.
Like, and right now you're not showing that you're going to be alright. Like, you know, so it's like, he's a smart kid. He's smart as shit. It's just the reality ain't
really hit him yet. I'm with you. I understand.
It's just like, yeah, like.
And when it does hit him, he gonna be so hurt. He gonna be so devastated.
Right, and it's like Chris ain't understanding the whole concept. I'm like, yeah, he need a car, but he gonna work on it. See why he gotta keep the maintenance and oil up on his car and tires and all that shit.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna feel that shit till you get that shit in your hand.
And if you don't get out there, he'll never know.
Right, you're not gonna let him practice on your shit because you got a 7,000 some fucking truck, your truck costs all this money, and then your girl got a Lexus and shit, and he's like, alright, y'all don't want him driving y'all shit. That's why we gotta get him something small, but let him fuck it up. Your first car is supposed to be your fuck up. So it's like, come on now, man. I'm just giving my kid back, and it's just like the whole thing was you and her had time. You had a regular 9 to 5. You could be there with him in the afternoon. You was supposed to teach him man shit, but I'm starting to learn you don't do man shit your goddamn self.
Right. That's what it sounds like.
I'm like a bitch, nigga. I'm like a real bitch.
Yeah.
Like you bitching at him about why he ain't washing his ass. You gotta be on top of it. It don't matter what his age is if he ain't been taught the basics. Like he gonna have to keep learning this. They don't just because you tell them they don't learn that shit overnight. You gotta it has to be consistent. I don't bother them. I let him sit in their room play his game. Why? Why is he sitting in his room playing the game? When you the same motherfucker that said you gonna make him go work. Why he ain't fucking Maya works at Wendy's. She got her daddy gave her a little raggedy ass Toyota Corolla. Maya go to school, she go to basketball practice, she go to Wendy's to work, and she got her little raggedy ass Toyota Corolla and she keep clean. Why the fuck can't Anthony do the same thing? He could be going to school, going to band practice, and going up there to Publix and working.
Yep.
But then you want to get mad at me and tell you how I can't tell you how to run your household. I know that, nigga. You was quick trying to run my shit. I'm sitting here thinking I'm sending him down there to be a man, and you act like a bitch. And he gonna get mad at me when I say something. well, you wasn't doing no better. You wasn't doing. He was a kid when I had him. I was doing mom shit.
Now he's a man, and ain't no man showing him what to do. Damn.
I did mom shit. You supposed to be the man to my kids. And then gonna sit there talking about, well, you gave them to me earlier. Nigga, I know you fucking lying. As many times you kept running overseas, doing this and doing. Get the fuck out of my position.
It ain't about the past, it's about what's next.
I wanted him to have a stable household. I'm sitting here working third shift, night shift, don't know what time I'm getting off and shit. You supposed to have you got a stable job. I'm thinking you can spend time with him in the afternoon. I'm sitting here working all in the middle of the night, graveyard shifts and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, I don't know who fucking shit this is. I can't roll in my. I'm assuming it's my neighbors, but I don't know. But yeah, like go. I don't have no schedule. I don't have no normal schedule. I want him to have a normal schedule.
Right.
I just gave my kid back. I couldn't figure this shit out with them. So they gonna sit here and call me, make a complaint, and then when I say something, what you call me? If you don't want me to say shit,
why you call?
I'm always gonna say shit. I only got one kid. Then you call me and initiate me and shit. Want me to hear you fussing at them, and then when I say something, oh, what's the motherfucker wrong? Oh, what you call me for? Why would you wake me up then? So I can sit here and hear you berate my child like
bitch, sitting there bitching. But now he 18, man. I don't know, man. And when they're 18, the bed is made.
And it's hard because, like I said, he still got a whole other year of high school to go. Like, it's not like he's 18, he's about to walk out the door. He still got a whole other year. High school is finished. So it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Just let it be.
My homegirl, like, you should just take him back. It's like, that's not really going to fix anything.
Right.
He's at the end of the rope.
Right.
You want me to yank him up out of school again? It's like, that don't make no sense. Because he's doing great at school. That ain't wrong. He loves school. And it's just like, I need him to be doing ministry. I need to know he can have an apartment and a car and a job and know how to save his money and invest in shit. It's like, it's hard. Call me and then get mad when I say the fuck I say. I mean, I picked a good baby daddy for a provider, and that's what my grandma had to me. Yeah, man is supposed to provide. He did that. He was a good provider.
But he wasn't an alpha male.
When it comes to being a nigga, definitely don't know how to do that. But once again, he said he pay people to do shit. That's like, Chris don't believe in hard labor. He told me that from the beginning.
That's the problem right there.
Like, when I had to help him with that goddamn tire, he said that shit, and he said, I don't do that shit. He said, I pay. He was like, I pay people to do that. And I get it. He said his dad said the same thing to me. His dad said the same thing. His dad said, you better get you a good stay at home. A desk job, because you ain't
about shit.
His dad had told him, you need to make sure you get you a good desk job. Chris has always been like that. He said, my dad knew I ain't do no fucking labor.
He said admit it.
Yeah, so he said, when I need shit done, I pay people. And he right, he made good money to pay people to do that shit. But you should at least, as a man, know the basics.
Yeah.
So it's just like, but then you want to sit here and talk shit about my
So he looking at a child that built like him.
Yeah, it's gonna be like him. He's gonna be good. Chris Andrew gonna be a smart little behind the desk job.
Paying people to do shit.
And granted, if you got the money to do that, hey, more power to you.
I say let your ex-husband do what he do, because it's his turn no matter what. One day, he, like I said, Anthony, a girl or something's that's gonna hit his pride. She might say, you stink, nigga. That'd be the last time he stink. Oh, he'll run out of gas. You know how it was. Be the last time you ran out of gas. He's got to learn the hard way.
Oh yeah, I remember his ass. I remember my first time when I ran out of gas. I was working at Walmart in Spring Lake. Working at Walmart in Spring Lake, and in the car I had the little gas reader on your. The gas reader in my car didn't work, so it always stayed on full. Like even when it was about to be, it was stuck or broken or whatever. So I had to just know my car. Like, all right, I've been driving for how long? Yeah, I should be about to run out of gas. You had to gauge it. Yeah. And one time I didn't gauge that shit right. I was on my way to work. I ran out of gas right there going to work in Spring Lake. And I was working third shift, so at nighttime on that back road and on Fort Bragg or whatever, and that's when it was melting the trees back there. Woo.
Where you at now? Where you at now, home?
Oh yeah, I'm home now.
Okay, let me call you back. I just pulled up in front of this man's house. I'll call you back when I come out. I ain't gonna be here long.
All right.
All right, buddy.